What inspires change? What motivates us? It's what's inside that moves us. What moves you? Get the Scion story at Scion.com.
In an answering brief filed yesterday with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California, Assistant Guam Attorney General Robert Weinberg argues that the advisory plebiscite that Dave Davis is challenging doesn't involve an election for public office. It is a poll, he maintains. And even though that poll will be conducted with the help of the Guam Election Commission, it does not constitute a vote within the meaning of the Voting Rights Act, argues Weinberg. And the Assistant AG also argues that just because the law gives a role to the Guam Election Commission in conducting this poll, it doesn't mean that Davis has suffered any constitutional violation of his civil rights. Davis is appealing a decision reached in January of this year by Guam District Court Chief Judge Francis Tadenko Gatewood, who dismissed Davis's complaint without prejudice, meaning his lawsuit can be refiled. Judge Tadenko Gatewood ruling that Davis's claim was not ripe for adjudication because no harm had been done since the plebiscite has not yet been scheduled. Weinberg argues for that same conclusion, writing in his brief that until the plebiscite he seeks to register for is actual and imminent, Mr. Davis has no claim. Among the other ripeness points made by Weinberg, Davis must show he is under threat of suffering injury in fact, and the threat must be actual and imminent, not hypothetical. And even if native inhabitants of Guam were determined to be intentionally race-based, Davis's claims are not ripe for judicial review because there is no election to be registered to vote in on any foreseeable horizon. And Weinberg points out that the plebiscite will have no effect on altering Guam's future political relationship with the United States. It only calls for a poll to determine the desires of the native inhabitants of Guam, which, once ascertained, will be transmitted to the President, Congress, and the United Nations. Finally, Weinberg is critical of Davis's motives, writing, "Ultimately, the relief Mr. Davis seeks is not to vindicate his own constitutional rights, but to muzzle whatever voice remains of a people who have yet to have their own say in their own destiny." Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.